Hello, friend. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we will be ranking all of the healing spells in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition.
There aren't
Sam? Yeah, all right.
there aren't a billion of them. And if you take anything away from this video, it's that even the best one is just kind of fine, and you only ever need like one, and then you're good to go.
Yes, Sam's got some opinions on healing, but yeah, healing is abundant in this game, so spells make up a fraction of your healing potential.
Healing back to full when you finish a long rest sure does make healing magic feel a lot worse.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get on with the list. All right, first up, we have a couple of aura spells, starting with Aura of Life.
Okay, I need to not get these backwards because one of these is actually uncastable trash and the other is like a giant chunk of hit points. So Aura of Life is the one that moves with you. Each non-hostile creature has resistance to necrotic damage. Their HP max can't go down, and they get 1 hit point if they start with 0 hit points. And this is uncastable trash. This is not ever worth putting on any character sheet ever, right?
I don't think so. I tried to fight for it when we did the video on Aura of Life, but I don't think I succeeded.
Yeah,
It's the 1 hit point thing when you go down. I thought, all right, maybe there's something there. But
yeah, I'm just like imagining the world where all your friends around you are dying because you've been concentrating on Aura of Life this whole time. And then you're the last person standing, and some of them start to pop up with 1 hit point, and everyone just goes, get it. And then they just dogpile the cleric, and then everyone's dead, not just your friends. So imagine you spend your 4th level spell slot on like, I don't know, mass healing word or something. Something better than that. We'll touch on the other better spells later, but you know, don't take this one. This one's a trap. Absolute bait.
that's true. I mean, it could very well be just painting a target on your back.
Yeah. You have to concentrate on it. It's oh my god, so bad.
Well, we have the other Aura of Vitality.
This is also a spell you don't want to cast in combat, but 2d6 hit points every round for a minute is a lot of hit points, technically speaking. Like you can just regenerate 20d6 hit points over the course of the minute, and for a 3rd level evocation spell, that's a lot of hit points. So out of combat, if you don't get a short rest but you have a minute, which does seem like a thing that can happen, I could envision this being a solid C. Like, it's just usually ghoulish overkill. Usually you don't need this many extra hit points, you know?
Yeah, C sounds good. I think we'll probably have a lot of C's.
Yep. But we'll see.
At least C's. We'll see.
Oh,
Cure Wounds.
This one's not making it to C tier. It's not an F tier. It's just a D tier. This is of the spells in this game that I feel like I have authority to talk about. Healing spells are kind of a thing I've seen used a lot. And the difference between Cure Wounds and most of, if not all of the other 1st level healing spells is pretty vast. Just because, like, touch is such a huge problem with this. The action cost is a huge problem with this. In the low tiers, the difference in HP still doesn't matter. And you're left with an effect that's like, this is just the worst version of all of the other effects that you are offered for a 1st level slot. There will be some time to still get someone off 0. Getting someone off 0 is invaluable. That's why it's not a failing. It's just there's a million better ways to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it directly compares to Healing Word, which is not touch and bonus action.
Yeah. You can attack the same turn you do it. Cast a cantrip the same turn you do it. You can take other meaningful actions like hide, dodge, disengage the same turn you do it. You cannot with Cure Wounds.
No, I mean you're swapping your action for this, where you almost usually be better off, killing whatever is hurting you.
Yeah. As a general rule of thumb, didn't bring it up at the top, but this is probably worth mentioning. Healing is something you do when people are at 0 or out of combat. As a general rule, you don't really want to use healing spells to get someone from 7 hit points to 15 hit points. You want to get them from 0 back into action economy. Because if you're spending actions, not changing action economy, you're wasting actions and the fight's going on longer for no reason. So, just use healing spells when people are at 0. Don't use healing spells whenever you don't need to.
All right. Unless it's like a mass thing where you work out the numbers in your head and you think, yeah, this, I might be keeping them from going down to 0, like several people for a little bit.
Sure, if the bulk is large enough, that could be the
Yes.
truth. So like mass cure wounds we'll get to eventually. Or sorry, mass heal we'll get to eventually.
Yeah.
That one is an example of it's enough hit points. You'll just do it to give everyone 7 more rounds of being conscious. If we're working in the realm of less than 48, it's not enough.
No. All right, innervation.
F tier.
Yeah. No arguments here, but well, no, I was going to say you'll get arguments from one guy, but you won't because he said he's never watching our videos again because we didn't like innervation.
That's a hell of a hill to die on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this spell is just like if you took the worst bits of Witch Bolt, the worst bits of Vampiric Touch, married them together, and then charged a 5th level slot for it. It is truly, truly an awful spell.
Oh, I'm gonna miss that guy.
Yeah,
Right,
if anything
yeah.
ever moves out of range, it ends. If anything ever gets full cover from you, it ends. You have to spend your actions doing this over and over again, and it's only doing 48 damage. So, like, if you use your action to do anything else, the spell ends. Like, I don't want to spend a 5th level spell slot doing 48 damage. I don't want to spend multiple rounds in an encounter that I have 5th level spell slots doing 48 damage. And the healing we haven't even touched on, but it sure doesn't matter. So, like, oh man, this thing's awful. Innervation's truly, truly uncastable trash.
All right, how about Goodberry?
Easy S tier.
Yeah.
Back when we
Good,
started
I'm
this channel, I
glad we
probably would have
got
put this
one.
in B tier, but it has moved up a lot in my life.
Well, it's so versatile. I mean, like,
Yeah.
well, you get it out of the way in the beginning. It's if you're playing a game that a survival kind of game, this knocks your food requirements out. This takes care of it.
Is crate
That's
how what level is crate food
what?
and water? Do you remember off the top of your head?
No, but whatever. You don't need it if you got a good
Yeah.
berry.
This invalidates crate food and water. That's fun.
Also, it's cheap. You get a bunch of good berries. They last what is it, 24 hours?
Yep.
So yeah, this is something you what's going on with our game we're playing right now. The guy with the good berries, he just waits until the end of the day, and I've got an unused spell slot. Guess what? Everybody's got good berries tomorrow.
Yep. It's like the fact that you can have multiples of these up because there's no concentration. The effect they just last for 24 hours. It really does go. How many slots do I have left? Great. That many times 10 good berries is how many we have for tomorrow.
Yeah.
The other really important thing about this, familiars can administer them. You can have your familiars, your companions, your creatures that have actions that are often worth like comparatively less than a player action is. They can give these out. 1 hit point is enough to get someone from 0 back into a fight, taking actions. That's what matters most about healing. This does that 10 times. It is really flexible. You can have everyone be healers in the party now. This is kind of like everyone in the group for a 1st level spell slot has cure wounds. And that as a floor is a really good place to be. And it only gets better from there. This spell really does define healing for a lot of tables.
And there's that one subclass, I forgot what it was, with the cheese that makes like a
Life
billion
Domain
good
adds
berries.
+3 onto these or whatever, yeah.
Oh, right, that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. Then it is just,
yeah.
I'll spend a 1st level spell slot and heal somebody to full. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
That's enough healing.
Yeah, so good for Goodberry. Next we have Heal.
So is heal enough? So heal is 70 hit points of healing at a 60-foot range for a 6th level spell slot. That's a lot.
Range. It's got a significant amount of healing. There's definitely, you're not going to not use this.
It's a 6th level spell.
Yeah, I know.
Like, if I'm a cleric or a druid, I want to be ending an encounter with my 6th level slot. I want, like, a 6th level summon effect, like Summon Celestial, or, some other big bombastic area effect damage, maybe a big conditional effect. There's so many things you can do with a 6th level spell slot that aren't just single target healing. This also ends blindness and deafness and diseases. You can do that cheaper if that's the main problem. So you really do, I think, want the healing as the primary factor out of this.
Yeah.
70 is like 3 to 4 hits of that tier, though. So that is action efficiency, conceivably, if you're fighting against like things that don't have a lot of multi-attack. I still am not that high on this. I think this thing might deserve like a D. It's a D or a
D. All right.
C.
I was thinking C or D. Yeah.
Sixth
Well,
level is just so expensive.
yes, it is. We'll put it in D for now. Maybe we'll rethink it later.
Hmm.
What else next? We got Healing Spirit.
I wanted to like this thing. I remember not liking this thing. So it's concentration, which is a problem, but it's a cast time as a bonus action. You get a nature spirit until the spell ends. When a creature moves into the spirit's space or starts its turn there, you can restore a d6 hit points. And it does that a number of times equal to 1 plus your wisdom modifier, because it's Druid or Ranger spell. It's spellcasting ability modifier. Minimum of twice. So like if you have a 0 wisdom, this heals at least once. It's really clunky. It's most of the time this is going to be a second level version of Healing Word, and I don't love a second level version of Healing Word, but it can get something up. If it ever gets 2 things up, you're pretty happy with it. But you have to like put it in a space that you know someone's going to go down because it's only a 5-foot cube, and you don't really want creatures to use it just to heal a d6 around.
I
Oh
mean,
man, I think
can it move?
no.
Oh no. Oh,
If it can move, it'd be a lot more interesting. But it's just you put it in a 5-foot cube space and it's just there.
it's like a little water fountain of healing potion.
Yeah, I just don't think you realistically want. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread. As a bonus action, you can move it up to 30 feet. That
Ah,
helps it a lot.
yeah.
Okay, all right, that saves it from D tier once again. This is probably a C tier spell then. I think that its competition is a lot better than it. Maybe it's a B
Yeah.
tier if you're like in a really dire fight. I could see this being something concentration. Yeah, C seems fine. C seems fine.
All right. Um, Healing Word.
Easy S tier. If you don't have good berry, you're taking healing word.
Yeah.
This is a bonus action to get someone off 0, and that is 95% of the battle when it comes to healing. You can do it at range, and its range is good. 60 feet is a long distance to be able to get someone off 0. You don't have to get in danger to do it. You can get somebody up in a meaningful fashion so that they can like get out of danger themselves, teleport out. Maybe they just need to get one more swing in on the monster. Maybe the monster has left their position. It's efficient. It's worth taking. It's probably the only healing spell you'll ever need on Bard and Cleric.
No argument here. It's Healing Word.
I
All right.
think I do a decent job in our Healing Word video or our Cure Wounds video, one of the two, talking about just why Healing Word is so much better than Cure Wounds. And if you want a larger in-depth
Probably both
discussion,
videos.
yeah, go check out both those videos.
Yeah. All right, we have Life Transference.
All right, so this was the original way that wizards could heal, and it was awful. So this says you take 48 damage, and then something gains twice that many hit points as necrotic damage dealt. And it's a 3rd level slot. So you're treating a 3rd level slot, an action, and 4d8 of your own life to bring someone else up. Nope, no, hard pass, F, garbage, completely uncastable. This at 5th level usually kills you. So don't cast it.
That's always a red flag.
Yup. This spell just straight up doesn't work. Excellent.
All right, we have Mass Cure Wounds.
The mass ones are the more interesting conversations because they do substantially more amounts of healing, but they also cost a lot more, but they do it to more things. So this is 30-foot radius sphere. Each creature within that sphere of your choice gets 3d8 plus mod back. It's a 5th level slot though, and it's an action to cast. So like
I mean, it's mass.
yeah, it's a 5th level slot for 3d8 damage to some stuff. If this gets 3 creatures up, you're probably happy. I think like its non-mass form, its competition really makes this pretty abysmal. Like 3d8 is just not enough to be like, oh, we're gonna be able to tank 2 more hits or anything like that, right? And if that's the
But
case, you're just using get creatures off 0, but it kind of pads some
but
people's HP out.
yes, if somebody goes down and you need to get them up 0, and you get 2 or 3 more people just buffing up their experience or their hit points, that's nice.
Yeah. Is it like so nice that I'm casting this over its competition with my 5th level spell slots?
Mm, I think I think it at least deserves a C.
I'm not quite there, but we can stick with the C
No?
for now. I
Uh,
do think it's slightly better than heal, so I guess we can keep it in C tier.
I mean, yeah, compared to heal and cure wounds, I mean, cure wounds is first level, this is fifth level, but I mean, it does the range and the number of people that you
30-foot
can
radius
affect with
sphere
it,
is gigantic,
yeah,
and it hits 6 things in that area.
and it
I'm still
lets
not
you pick
convinced.
and choose who.
This does convince me that we should move Healing Spirit up to B, though.
Okay,
We'll
all
come
right.
back. We'll come
This
back, but this
chart
is...
isn't as feast or famine as I thought it was going to be.
If it were up to me, I think we'd have 4 things in D tier right now.
All right, let's go with another mass. We got mass heal.
Okay, so this is the 9th level version, and there's no reason to take the other 9th level healing spell because this exists. I think this actually deserves a solid B. So it's you restore up to 700 hit points divided as you choose among any number of creatures. That's normally the party goes back to full HP. And
Yeah,
that's genuinely powerful. It's within 60 feet. As
sure.
long as people are around you, you just go, great, everyone's back up to max. We kind of removed the effects of the encounter. That's a big splashy die. That's what I'd expect out of a 9th level heal, right? It also cures all
Yeah,
diseases and removes blind and deafen, just like heal does.
oh, good.
Why does the heal effects like maintain through their higher level versions, but the restoration effects don't? Like, why doesn't greater restoration do the lesser restoration things if mass heal does the same thing as heal? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I don't know the answer to that.
Huh. Weird.
That's
But yeah, you have any thoughts on mass heal?
no, it's big ass healing. I like it. Good.
It's definitely enough hit points.
This is like you said. What do you want from a ninth level heal spell?
Yep.
This
Yes.
mass healing word.
So this is the reason I think Mass Cure Wood's kind of trash. So this is a bonus action for a 3rd level slot, which is 2 levels under, and it does what you want out of healing. It gets a bunch of creatures off 0. It's not a lot of hit points, but it's a D4 plus mod. So you'll be like, okay, 3 people are down. Thank God I also have Mass Healing Word. They're all back up.
Um,
Bonus action cast time.
yeah, but if 3 people in your party are down, I mean, how often is that happening? And like, I mean, yeah, this will get them back up a little bit, but I mean, you're probably still in some pretty big trouble.
Yeah,
Whatever
this is
is
one of those
bringing your
rare
party
spells
down.
that can save multiple lives, though, right?
Yeah,
Without this, there's no chance they're living. With this,
yeah.
now there is a chance that all 3 or some amount of those 3 characters can live, right?
See, I don't agree that mass cure wounds is trash compared to this. I think it's a decent scale up.
I don't want to spend a 5th level spell slot for like 10 extra hit points per creature.
Yeah, I don't either, but
And this costs a bonus action as opposed to an action.
yes, that's important.
Would you agree that
All
this
right.
is better than Mass Cure Wounds?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so B is where we can put it then?
Yeah. I don't think it makes mass cure wounds look like trash necessarily.
I really have a
Uh
hard time spending a 5th level slot on it, but yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back.
all right, power word heal.
This is the one that gets D tier because it's bad compared especially to the other 9th level healing spell. So this is 1 creature gets all of its hit points back. And if it removes charms, fears, and paralyzed and stun conditions. If it's prone, it can stand up. And the kicker though that really makes this D tier is you have to touch the thing to get them all their hit points back. So you can't be like from across the room, barbarian, come back to life. No, you have to go to where the barbarian died and then bring them back up.
Yeah. I think
So
for this to be worth it over what is it, mass heal?
yeah.
Like they need to have all those conditions on them.
Yeah, and like 1,400 hit points. So
Yeah.
that doesn't happen ever. So don't take this one, take Mass Heal. That's the moral of the story.
All right, prayer of healing.
Uh I've never been lower on this in my life because of Aura Vitality. So Prayer of Healing is like you can spend 10 minutes to cast it, and then every one gets 2d8 plus your modifier back. It's a 2nd level slot. I want to put this in D tier. I kind of want to put this in F tier because it doesn't do the thing that you need healing to do. I just don't see a realistic table that's like, this is worth casting. I think a lot of people waste slots casting because, oh, we've taken some damage. Everyone get 2d8 plus mod back. That'll be enough. Not really. It's not going to
Mm.
change money's outcomes of real fights that occur.
So where are we going? D or F?
I want to put it in an F. I think that's, it definitely doesn't look as bad as what's down there, though.
No.
So D it is, I guess.
All right. Regenerate.
I am a regenerate apologist, but it is not good. I just
Well,
think
I mean,
I love the
I used to think
fantasy.
that, and but you talked me up on it. It's not good for what I want it to be, but out of combat, it's a solid bunch of healing.
Yeah, if you were thinking about taking Power Word Heal, this is probably just a better version of that. Because it lasts an hour and it gets a ton of hit points back. The problem is it has a minute cast time, which makes it really clunky, and you really have to be going through like 3 fights where someone is almost dying in the course of that hour for this to justify its slot. And the reality is most tables aren't that. The reality is like 90+% of tables aren't gonna need that many hit points for a 7th level spell. Right?
And it like what I want from regenerate is I want to be going into combat, getting hit, and then gaining a significant amount of those points back. I want to
Yeah.
be regenerating in combat, and this doesn't really provide that. You get like
Yeah.
1 hit point per round, right?
The regenerate fantasy I would love to see is like actual trolls regenerate feature. I would
Right,
love to see
exactly.
like 3rd level spell, you get 15 hit points back around kind of deal for a minute, right? That's
Yeah,
where I'd want my regenerate to be, not
and that
this, which is
I
1
feel
hit
like
point
that's
around.
worth a 7th level spell.
If if we crunch the numbers correctly, yeah.
Yeah,
This I don't really think is because 1 hit point around, it just too few tables can find value with this thing. I think that puts it again solidly in D tier. Maybe 1 or 2 groups around the world can find that this is a really big valuable asset because the barbarian is taking 500 to 700 damage each long rest. I just don't see that being a realistic case in almost any other table,
yeah. Soul Cage.
I love Soul Cage. It's not great again. I just think I love the fantasy of it. It's just too expensive. It's a 6th level slot, and it's a warlock thing, and you collect souls as they die, and one of them you can spend to regain 2d8 hit points as a bonus action. It like you get while inside the cage, you can exploit it to get the healing. You can do it up to 6 times, so it's kind of like potentially 6 instances of 2d8 damage. You're more often though gonna want like you get advantage on an attack roll, ability check or saving throw. You're gonna want sometimes where you can like see dead people. You can ask some of them questions. It's cute. It's just way too expensive.
Where are we putting it?
D tier.
Uh-oh. All right,
I
we only got 4 more.
6th level slot is a really expensive for a couple uses of 2d8 healing.
Well, I mean, that's not all it is.
Yeah, the other options are like you get advantage on an attack roll.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not
True.
riveting for a 6th level spell slot, and it's conditional because you have to have things die to steal their souls. So like you
That's
don't
true.
even always get 6 uses out of this.
All right, Summon Celestial.
I think this is an easy A tier.
Good.
It's
Need an
it's
A.
an so I think it's under S tier just because it's 6th or it's 5th level still. It's a more expensive summon effect, and there are cheaper summons than this. This is the only one cleric gets, so that's kind of novel for it. The healing that it does is a once per day healing touch, so this barely counts as healing, but hey, sure, it gets a once per day 2d8 healing. The more important bit is you get an Avenger with a bow or a Radiant Mace Defender that just beats the crap out of people. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It gets extra attack. It's a whole extra party member. It's amazing. This thing's great. All the summons are great.
sure. Um, Vampiric Touch.
Oh, you know where this belongs.
I know where this belongs. Oh,
Yeah.
F minus just for breaking my heart, Vampiric Touch.
The
I
dream of
want
the
this to work well.
Yeah, the gain drain fantasy, man. It's just trash. I think it's funny that a lot of games really struggle to make it, especially if they're like PvP games, player versus player. It is some of
Yeah,
the most miserable experiences to like spend all of your character's time and energy whittling somebody down only for them to just jump back to full. And at the same time, when these builds are trash, oh god, do you just don't do any damage, take all the damage, and die? And that's exactly what it does in D&D 2, is you don't do any damage, you take a lot of damage, and you die. So, yeah.
You have to touch somebody to get this to work, and it's concentration. You, uh, we've said this so many times. You have to be hurt in the first place to get any benefit out of the healing. It's yeah, everything going against very poorly designed spell.
Yeah, I pray it gets a revision in the next edition. If it gets printed again like this, I'm gonna be like, who cast it? Which one of you playtesters actually cast this so it could get printed in this book again? I want a name. It doesn't deserve to be existing like this.
Yeah, do better. All right, next up we have Wish.
Easy S tier.
Wish.
Spell busted. One of the modes is that it heals a whole bunch, right?
I don't even remember.
You allow 20 creatures to regain. Wow, power word heal is not. Or sorry, yeah, that's the one. That's the garbage one, right? Yeah, power word heal. So this says you allow up to 20 creatures that you can see to regain all hit points. And you also end all effects as described on the Greater Restoration spell.
Wow, so
Why?
power word heal literally does nothing.
Power word heal is worthless. Mass heal looks way worse than this does, right? Imagine you're a cleric and you're like, oh, got my top tier spell. It's mass heal. Everything's great. I'm the best healer in the game. And the wizard goes, no, actually, I'm the best healer in the game and have every 8th level spell in the game and lower and have another 9th level spell that is completely game warping. Devastating. Devastating. Why do wizards get the best healing spell in the game, Bob?
Because they get everything.
Because they get everything, I guess. Yeah, on top of it being the best healing spell in the game, it's also the best 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd level spells in the game, all at once. And then it also just sometimes rewrites the history. So, this is a spell that, like, exists for its fun potential, not because it's balanced, and I'm glad it exists. But, my god, is this thing unhinged. It probably could have done without the healing bits, let's be honest.
Well, why not at this point? His wish.
I'm just gonna do everything, why not? I'll say hail everyone to full, sure.
All right, and last but probably not least, Wither and Bloom.
I like this thing a lot. I like it because hit dice aren't that used. So this is a wizard, druid, sorcerer option. So it's actually low tier healing for wizards and sorcerers at 2nd level, but it's not like a lot of healing. Instead, it's a creature within the area of damage. You can instead have them reroll a hit dice and spend an unspent hit dice to regain hit points. And that is useful. Action cast time, 10-foot radius, 2d6 necrotic damage. So you'll someone's fighting things, you kill a couple of the things, or at least damage a couple of the things they're fighting, get them off 0. I can see there being some flexibility to this. That makes it like a solid C to me. This isn't a spell that every wizard's going to want, every sorcerer's going to want. If you're fighting the groups going down often, this is something I would consider picking up.
All right. This is a lot less lopsided than I thought this chart was going to look.
There's a lot of Ds.
Yeah, there are a lot of Ds, a lot of Fs. I did expect that. I thought there were going to be more.
I do think we should move Healing Spirit back to C tier. I do think it's substantially worse than both Mass Heal and Mass Healing Word.
Okay.
And that makes me want to move Mass Cure Wounds down. So I do think that's the worst of the C tiers currently. I think it's by a lot.
All right,
5th level is so expensive.
I'm not going to move Mass Cure Wounds. Just going to mess up my chart.
Okay, it can live in C tier.
Unless you want to move something else down from
nope.
D to F.
Oh, down.
Yeah.
Is Soul Cage that bad? I don't think Soul Cage is that bad.
Does it deserve to be in league with Vampiric Touch and Innervation?
No, it sure doesn't. None of those deserve to be in league with those bottom 4. Yep, this seems good to me then.
Okay. All right. You know what I will do? I'll move Mass Cure Wounds to the end there.
Yes. Never once has their ordering mattered on these tier lists in the actual tiers. But hey, now we know Mass Cure Wounds is the worst of the bunch.
In the tier list I do with Cameron, he orders them within tiers. So
that's too granular for me. These are general ideas that I feel about today.
Right. All right. Well, that's nice looking list. Anything else you want to say?
Commenters, your decisions. Where would you put things? I'm always curious. The ones you'd move the most. So S is going to D's, F's going to B's. Those are the ones I'm most interested in over. Then actually, Aura Vitality is a B spell. It's not amazing still, but it's fine. Okay, nitpicking. But where are the big ones? What are the ones we are way off on? Let us know.
Yeah,
Comment down below.
I'd certainly like to hear your opinions. All right, let us have it down in the comments. And thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.